decent weather to make some sausage. We're going to do some honey, venison, pork, smoked sausage. So once we get all this ground up, we're going to head out to the smokehouse and get her done. Hang in there. Okay, we have 10 pounds of venison that's ground up. This is from last year's harvest, so make good use of it. Make room in the freezer for some fresh. So we have that. We also have 20 pounds of pork. This comes from the Boston butt. The rest of it's in the refrigerator. We want it good and cold before we start grinding. We're going to need half a cup of honey, 6 ounces of seasoning. I'm using my Camp Dog mild blend today. Brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, and a half a teaspoon of cured salt. We're going to take all the ingredients, mix it up in a quart of water, and pour it into the meat once it's ground up. And we're going to mix it all up real well, and we're going to stuff it into some hog casing. Once that's done, we'll be ready for the smokehouse. Okay, we're all set up and ready to start grinding our pork. I've got my Cabela's grinder set up, 3/4 horse, should do the job. I'm using the medium grind die in here. I don't like it real fine, and I only run it once. I like it meaty. So then I have my foot control, and we're ready to go. As fast as you can feed it, it's spitting it out. Foot control really works, really helps. You can use 2 hands that way. Fill my hopper back up. Really make short work of it. The old grinding by hand thing, that gets old. Once you get old like me, you get a little lazy. There we go. As fast as you can feed it. Making venison sausage, you always want to put some pork, something that with fat. If venison is too dry, you do it just 100% venison, it'd be way too dry. So that's what we do. Alright, we're going to get the rest of it out of the refrigerator and finish her up. Okay, we have our hopper loaded and we're ready to start grinding the rest of this. The other half of the 20 pounds of pork. Can't say enough about this machine, I love it. some more hopper load. And we'll be done grinding 20 pounds of pork. Last little bit. I learned a little trick from a friend of mine, Todd, with reap what you sow, and I'm sure it was his wife's idea, but anyway, I give him credit. To clean this out, it's a little hard to do. Run some bread through it. There you go. And that'll help clean out all that pork in there. And you can mix it in or you can discard it, whatever you want to do. Okay, so here we have it. 20 pounds of pork, 10 pounds of venison. Next step is to mix in all our seasonings. Mix it all up and put it in the casing. Okay, we got all our seasoning mixed in. Water. Pour that in there and add just a little more water here. We're going to get all this mixed up real good. Normally, if I'm doing 50 pounds or more, I have a hopper attachment that attaches to the Cabela grinder. But just for this 30 pounds, we're going to get it done by hand. So hang in there. We'll get it mixed up and start pushing it through the casing. You need to get this all mixed really well. Like I said, that mixer I have is nice, but it's kind of a pain to clean up. If I'm not doing more than this, I just do it by hand. Okay, so now we're ready to start stuffing. We got our casing, natural hog casing. You want to soak these for about an hour. Clean them up real good. They come packed in salt, so you want to make sure you get all that salt off of them. And just thread it on like we have it here. I find it's easier to pump a little bit of meat out in the end when you get started. That's why I've got a little bit of meat up here. It helps it roll over it and goes real easy, real easy. I was fighting with it before, but found that out, so that's a good tip. So here we go. Let's get started. Slacking right here. We want to get it the size we want. There you go, that's about the right size. And when we get it about the length we want, because we're going to hang it in the smokehouse, just drape it over the rack. And we'll cut it off and start another length. That's about a good length right there. Okay, let's stop it. And we're not going to put you through the whole thing. We're going to go ahead and stuff the rest of these just to give you an idea how it's done. So we'll get the rest of these stuffed and we'll meet you at the smokehouse. Here's a tip I was telling you about. When it gets a little hard to push on, just hit your button, get a little bit of meat around the casing, and it'll slide right on that tube much better. Look at that. A lot better. Alright, let's get the stuff. Okay, so we cooked up a little patty just to test our seasoning. Oh my goodness. Just right. That's going to be some good sausage. Alright, here we go. Got 30 pounds of sausage stuffed, venison, pork, mixed with honey. So we're going to hang it in the smokehouse. Okay, we have the smokehouse heating up. We're going to get it between 160 and 180 with an internal temperature at 160 to 165. We want that pork to be cooked. So we're starting off with no smoke just for the first 15-20 minutes, kind of dry up the casing so that it'll be ready to absorb that smoke. So we're getting them hung. We got the first rack going, hung already. Fill up this next rack. Really impressed with these casings. They're good and strong. In the past we've had some pop on us and stuff. You'll always have that to some degree, but these here are really good and strong. Picked these up at Targill and Opelousas. Natural hog casings. So want to keep them separated. You don't want them touching. Right here they're touched, but after a while, after about halfway through, we'll flip it like this, so they'll get smoked good on both sides. One more little piece here. This is good measure. It's going to be our sampler. Little sampler piece. Alright, everything's in place. Shut the door. Crank the heat up a little bit. I love using my remote thermometer. I've got it set to 180. Now, with once it gets to, if it gets to 180, it'll set off an alarm in case I'm in the house doing something else or whatever. I'll run out here and take care of it because I want to keep it between 160 and 180. There's a second probe I'll put in later for the internal temperature, and it's got a reading also. And I've got it set at 160, and I might crank it up to 160, 165. Because once you pull them out, they keep cooking for a minute. So there we go. We're going to give it about 15 minutes, then we're going to put some smoke to it. Okay, today I'm using my propane burner. I sometimes just use firewood and build a fire in there and you know, that way, but it's a lot easier to control my heat using a burner. And with the sausage, I want it just right, so I don't want it to run away from me. And we've got it cranked up, and in just a little bit we're going to put the pellets. We're going to use pellets, hickory pellets, right on top of this pan. I have, actually it's a old Dutch oven cover, cast iron. It's going to get real hot, and it's not going to burn the pellets. It's just going to make them smoke. And in addition to the pellets, we're going to add a few wood chips pecan. Just about halfway through we'll add that. So that's just about ready to put the smoke to it. So give me a few more minutes. Alright, we're ready to put our smoke to it. We're going to start off with about 1.5 cups of these hickory pellets. So put it right on top here. And it won't be long before that starts smoking. Okay, I don't know if you can see it with the skyline, but we have smoke. So that's going to smoke just like this for about an hour on that little bit of pellets. And then we're going to reevaluate. Let it go a little while without it, and then add some more. Total time is going to be 4 to 5 hours smoking. And we'll know for sure once we get the internal temperature probe set up, because we're going to want to get that at, like I said, about 160, 165. So we're smoking good. Here we go. Okay, we're about an hour into it, and the smoke has died down. So we're going to check the boucannière. French word of the day, boucannière. Now this is Cajun French. It means smokehouse. It's not the real French. So don't be sending me no nasty notes. Boucannière, Cajun French. Check it out. It's getting there. It's getting some pretty color to it. The heat's just right. We're going to put some more smoke to it. We got some boucan now, Jack. Oh yeah. That's looking pretty. That's just a couple of hours in, so we got a long way to go. Fire in the hole, fire in the hole. Alright, our temperature got a little past 180. Good thing I was alert. We got it controlled. Looking good, looking real good. Go ahead and see how where it touches at. It leaves a white spot, so we're gonna move them around. Just starting to drip now, so that's a good sign. Alright, we're about 3 hours in. Another hour or two to go. That ought to be good. Okay, so it's been about 4 hours. Looking really good. Temperature's been holding well. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to connect the second probe and get my internal temperature. Alright. I'll crank the heat up a little bit, get the internal temperature up to 160, 165, somewhere in there. And then kill it. That's going to be it. Okay folks, there you have it. Internal temperatures at Can you see it? 160. We're gonna pull it. It's done. There it is, folks. Look how pretty. That came out nice. Remember that little sample I told y'all about? Look where it's at. Fixing to check him out. So good. Right out of the smoker. Get you some. Okay, folks, that concludes today's episode of Camp Dog Outdoors. If you like this content and like to see more of it, please subscribe, ring the bell, don't miss a notification. We got plenty of recipes. We're gonna get them out to you every week, hopefully. So keep checking back, and we'll be seeing you. God bless.